While I thought that people who would just watch ceramah online are Pakatan Rakyat supporters. Little did we know, I think, we have a stalker. And that must come, and I'm sure that Seri Rosmah watch our video diligently, and we should take pride in that. Because how else, for example, anyone who mentions or questions that Seri Rosmah will either get a demand letter or legal suit, or will be investigated by the police for sedition. So tonight, the speech is specially dedicated to Datin Seri Rosmah, who I'm sure will be watching my video. Thank you so much to all who attend. It's a small group, and we are blessed to be in a great company of friends. And Kelang has always been special. I decided with Akmal to set up something crazy like this because we wanted to quit our job. I was told by Dato' Sri Anwar some years back that I only had to take 2 years leave from my corporate life to come and help Selangor State in the capacity as CEO of the Economy Advisor Office. He told me, don't worry, only 2 years, no politics, nobody will see. After that, you can go back to your corporate life. Of course, that's politician's talk, right? After 1 year, I found myself to be in the party with a position, and by then I picked a fight with everyone. And by 2012, I knew by then that I can kiss my so-called corporate life goodbye. I don't think anyone would hire me in Malaysia. And by early 2012 as well, we were gearing up for the last general election. So every night, I had to go to office 9 to 5. And then every night I have to drive all over the place to Kedah, Johor, for ceramah. And then it was a big struggle to go back to office tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock. So by mid of 2012, I told myself that, I don't want to work anymore. I couldn't go to office anymore. I just wanted to quit my job, and I thought election would be by early 2013. I thought that I have enough saving just to do political work, but that would be so boring if it's just about political work. And it just so happened, by then I had been embroiled with all the NFC stuff, accounts and stuff. So while going through books in Kinokuniya, I remember that, Akmal and I were at Kinokuniya. I wanted to buy books, and suddenly, out of a sudden, I thought, hey, why don't we do this? Why don't we have an NGO where people can come and give information, and we can go and investigate, Little did I know or realize then that we would be facing a lot of legal suits, or, for example, that it did require some money to run NGO. I thought NGO would be free. But that's how national oversight and whistleblowers was basically conceptualized and set up in July 2012. We have also made a rule that because we investigate corruption, we cannot take a single cent from any government agency, whether it is Pakatan or Barisan Nasional. So we didn't have a single cent from Selangor government, Penang, or any other agency. We will rely in the next 2 years from grants from United Nations and a few other agencies who support the kind of work that we do, which is to help create awareness against corruption by the public. So hopefully, don't worry, the next time we'll see you again in Kelang is 2 years from now, hopefully. We only do fundraising once in 2 years. I have a lot of fun actually being a whistleblower. A lot of people ask how to go about it. The first rule is that you have to put your neck first on the line. If you don't dare to put your neck on the line, other people will not follow suit. The very nature of whistleblowing and exposing corruption in Malaysia is that you rely on information from the public. And you'll be surprised that our public have gone time and time again to the authority, but their complaints or their information always got ignored. In the case of NFC, for example, by the time you stumble on NFC, the amount of literature on cows and condos on the internet was massive. All you need was to sit down and go through line by line and notice board after notice board, and you get so much of this information which are posted in chat rooms and notice boards all over the internet. Which means that our society hates corruption. They want to do something about it. Many people would have gone to SPRM or the police, but their complaints were not acted upon. That's why they would be watching and waiting for some crazy idiot guys who go there and shouting, "I don't mind to be thrown into jail." Because then this, whoever, whether it's NGO or person, the information will gravitate towards him. That's how you become whistleblowers in Malaysia. So that's why, if Datin Rosmah thinks that by throwing legal suits to us, it will dampen our spirits, it will actually make us more popular and more information come to us. So the more legal suits from Rosmah, the better actually. So in the case of NFC, for example, it all started very innocently. I just wanted to make sure that there was, I wanted to be fair to the government and NFC, to be, because by the end of 2011, the issue of NFC was deliberated in the Auditor General report. We had to respond to it. And we wanted to make sure that we at least go and see and check the farm before we made accusations. I was rather unknown at that time, so it was easy to go undercover, and I did go undercover. I went there. It just so happened it was about 3 weeks before Hari Raya Korban. So I went there and menyamar as Toke Lembu. I said, I'm Toke Lembu from KL. I wanted to buy about 100 cows and so on. They were so very happy. They brought me into the office, and the clerk said, actually, kita tak cukup lembu lah. Lembu tak ada kat sini. That's how it all started. Very innocently. Because the clerk actually told me, tapi bang, kita tak ada lembu lah bang, tak cukup lembu kat sini. So I was like, how can you have 250 million? How can you tak ada lembu? So, and then sitting down with the clerk, going through their stories, that I cover a lot of things. They were telling about, actually ladang ini kita bukan jual lembu, ini lembu untuk hantar ke kedai dan Puteri Syarikat beli. So one thing led to another, and the whole issue only started by arguing how many cows were there. So I went back to Parliament. I was not an MP at that time, but I went to the lobby and asked the government, the minister at that time, No Omar, actually how many cows were there? Because the clerk at the farm said there was only 1,000 cows. And then there were arguments about there was 8,000, and 8,000 is very good. And that went for about a week, and lo and behold, after a week, I got one big information coming from a whistleblower who remained anonymous until today, and that set off the whole thing. And that's how corruption busting, I think, can work in Malaysia. So long as you ask the right questions, so long as you follow the trail and the details diligently, there will always be information internally from within the system of people who cannot stomach what was done. And that's why organizations like National Oversight and Whistleblower is important in our society at this juncture. The public does not have high confidence of the authority. They feel that if they go to the authority, either the complaints will not get investigated or their safety will be compromised. And they will always want to go to a party or an NGO, a group of people whom they can trust, whom they think that will do justice to the risk they put themselves on by giving this information. And I think in the last 2 years, National Oversight and Whistleblowers have done rather well, considering that we only have 2 permanent staff, and I'm not a staff, we only have 2 permanent staff, and the rest were all supported by the young volunteers who also put together the dinner and the fundraising tonight. They are all early 20s, some of them are still in universities, and I think if we continue to give support to these young people and train them, they can have marvelous impact in the society's work to combat corruption in the future. I have on our desk about 3 or 4 national level scandals to come in the next 6-7 months. It requires a lot of work to investigate. And these are not one MDB, these are not what you have heard before. These are all information that continue to come, that we have looked, and are enough grounds for us to proceed with further investigation. And I think in the next 6-7 months, our young teams at the National Oversight Whistleblowers will be very busy doing all this. And I hope only by putting the public pressure to the government, only then I think they can respond one way or another. And the SPRM, for example, had no choice but to respond to the kind of work we do, because the public will always ask, how come a group of people who have no access to information nor any protection from the law can pull this off when you cannot? This is a challenge to SPRM all the time. If we can uncover it, at the very least I think they should be able to go after some of the minor politicians, if not the big ones in Putrajaya. And so long as MACC do not pull this off, I think the public will remain skeptical about MACC and Putrajaya and corruption and so on. I want to end like this. I mean, I don't want to talk like ceramah. You know, the dinner tonight is to thank all of you. You are our good friends. We have given a lot of efforts, money, and support. You know, so I just want to end with this. While National Oversight and Whistleblowers continue to get new people, the younger ones, for us to train, some of us have to continue to take the bullet. The reason being is that if we expose young ones, they will get sued the minute they open their mouth. And you know, the rule of the game is that I have learned in the last 2-3 years, it is better that one person take all the legal suits. I've already had about, I lost track as well on my cases. And Michelle is here. We have lawyers from Lawyers for Liberty who do some of my cases. Yeah, because the challenge is to make sure that I appear on court on the right day. Because I always have so many, I got confused. Sometimes the judge threatened to bundle and send me to prison because I forgot to appear in court. That has happened before. But we can't run away from that. You know, a lot of people ask, I'm already an MP from PKR, and my work with NGO will make the NGO partisan and partial. And people say that it is being used to attack UMNO Barisan Nasional. That's why I have to clarify that we have to make a choice. If the NGO and the activists choose to go on their own one by one, they would never survive 1 week in the press, because they will be sued, injunction will be obtained against them, and it's not going to go anywhere. That's why we have no choice. Some loudmouth among us, and that includes me, will have to continue to speak up while the work is done by such NGOs behind the scene, because we already have about 6 or 7 or 8 legal suits against us. Another 1, another 2, another 3 do not make any difference anymore. And whistleblowing can only work if we can speak long enough and loud enough in the media until the news gain traction on the ground. What Putrajaya is going to do, and why this Surendran has elaborated at length, they are going to come down hard, whether through legal suits or whether through Sedition Act, because they realize our success of the last 4 or 5 years is because we speak too loud, too long, and we seem to be unstoppable at Ceramah. We can just go on and on and on. If you talk long enough about a single issue consistently, people will begin to understand it. In fact, the rule of thumb is that if you want to make sure an issue become a public issue or a scandal begins to have attraction on the ground, it must be covered in the media for at least 2 weeks. So that's why in the future, you can expect the moment a person opens his or her mouth about a misappropriation or a scandal, immediately he or she will get a legal notice. People who are not used to it will get a bit frightened or will get a bit jittery. He or she may choose not to continue. Of course, people like Suren, myself, I think we are so used to it. The more you give, the more we talk. You know? So I have no choice. I will continue to speak up on the work that now has done. And I think consistently, if we highlight corruption, the public will understand and the public will give enough public pressure that Putrajaya cannot ignore anymore. So thank you very much, especially to the following. Yeah? I have to thank personally to all the lawyers. I couldn't have been this stubborn if I don't have the kind of lawyers who were backing me. All of them have done this pro bono. That's why I'm a bit, if I have to pay legal fee, obviously I wouldn't be like this. We have a band of lawyers, volunteers. You know, we have a group from Lawyers for Liberty. We have Wadi Suren, Wadi Siva. I have another group of lawyers, Ranjit Singh, Razlan, Gopal, Xiao San, Michelle, they're all not here. You know, in fact, I think the volunteers from among the lawyers who helped us for the last 2 years easily are about 15 or 16 people. Among the young volunteers, they are also lawyers, so hopefully once they qualify, they will come on board and defend, because more and more people will get sued. So thank you very much, and please give a big hand of clap to all involved. I have to give a special thanks to the media. Media being media, you know, they will only come if they are asked to cover a function. We actually prepare tables for them in appreciation, but they think that, okay, it's better to spend Sunday night doing something else than to come to a appreciation dinner. So I think a lot of our media friends do not come. But we wouldn't have been able to do what we did if the media is not there. And Chan can be considered as a media as well. So maybe Chan is the only one from the media. Because we depend on the stories to go out and to be understood and to reach a sensational level before Putrajaya responds to it. Putrajaya has this trick that they don't have to say anything or respond to anything, and it will go away quietly. So that's why we have to depend on the media, who actually take risks themselves. Every time they report an expose from us, they take the risk, because not only that I get sued, they will get sued as well. China has been getting 2 or 3 love letters from Rosmah lately. Malaysia Kini has been sued. Malaysian Insider has been sued. So the whole whistleblowing and corruption busting by the public, the model of which we have, I think, done very well, can only work when the media is vibrant and the media wants to play their part. So although some of our media friends are not here, thank you very much for the media. We help them sell their newspapers. They help us bring Shahrizad down. So it's very good. Thank you very much to the media. And I'm always amazed at how easy it is that people throw their support for such a cause like this. It's something that is long short. We are not going to change the country immediately, but there have always been people among you who readily and sometimes anonymously contributed to us for the work that we do. And we wouldn't have been able to survive this long and maybe for another 6-7 years if not because of the generosity and magnanimity amongst all of you, especially those who attend today. So thank you very much once again. So finally, I hope you will stay tuned. There'll be 3 or 4 coming. We have to wait until the next parliamentary sessions because there are some information that I have to confirm through parliaments. But I think corruption scene in Malaysia will continue to be exciting. You will continue to be amazed at the creativity of people at swindling the public's money. And wherever there is these people who swindle public money, hopefully we can be there as well. I would be able to go undercover myself after this because people do recognize me now. But we do have a lot of young volunteers, 19-year-old, 20-year-old, who nobody in Putrajaya would have suspected them with a pen and with a cap and with a small camera, who goes around snooping to find information about ministers' corruption. If there are corruption from or by Pakatan Rakyat, by all means come. And I'll be more than happy to do it as well, you know. And that's a promise we make among ourselves, and that's why we would never take a single cent from either Barisan or Pakatan Rakyat governments because we have to remain objective. If there are corruption cases of the scale, of the national scale from Pakatan Rakyat governments or agencies or companies, by all means please come, and we'll be more than happy to investigate as well. Because that's what we do, and for that I would like finally to announce that I will have to withdraw as the executive director from next year onwards, because I think it's time to allow the young ones and to bring more professional team, now that I'm a politician and I'm an MP, in order to maintain that now can be as independent as possible. I will withdraw from any position, and I only work with now after this in terms of when they have a case, a foolproof case, and they need somebody to go after the minister or the authority who can withstand the legal suits, then myself or a few other MPs can, or whoever who is willing to face these legal challenges, then we can do it. But I think it's only proper that I withdraw completely from the day-to-day running, because otherwise people will still continue to ask whether or not this is pro-opposition or not. So I think that's about it. Thank you very much. I hope to see you again in 2 years' time, and I hope you continue to give the support for the little work that we do, because it goes a long way to making sure that we get rid of corruption in this country. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.